Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. As you can tell, today is not an ASMR video. More of those will be coming, but I did want to do a few sit-down videos. I was getting a lot of requests for a Disney tips and tricks / what is in my park bag video, so I figured I would go ahead and do that for you guys today. So let's talk Disney. So before I get into what's in my bag, I wanted to kind of start with the tips and tricks portion. I want to start by saying that nobody's trip is going to be the same, so not every tip or trick is going to apply to everyone. So really looking into what you want out of your Disney vacation is definitely going to be the best option. Also, this is the first time I'm using my new microphone for a regular video, so if it's a little loud, I do apologize. I tried to adjust the volume. I hope it's good because, yeah, this is a whole new mic setup for me. So the first trick I basically just already started, which is plan for your specific family. So like I said, depending on your family size and how many park days you want, how many down days you want, it's really going to depend on your family. Same thing with a budget. Some people might want to splurge and stay at a deluxe resort. Some people would rather stay at a value and use that money towards souvenirs or food or special events. So really just tailoring it to your specific family is going to be key. That brings me to my next tip. Budgeting. Definitely make sure you budget for your Disney vacation. See what you really want to do, what restaurants are going to cost. Maybe your family can only afford 3 sit-downs your whole trip. That's great, but definitely check and know what you want. Some sit-down restaurants are more expensive than others. For example, Space 220 is a flat rate. It's $100 per person, which could be pricey for you, but maybe that's important to you and you want to do that, but that might affect other dining reservations. So definitely just making sure that you are looking at prices, not only for souvenir, foods, your resort stay, have everything planned out, and understand that sometimes it's not completely possible to stick within your budget, but just kind of make a little bit of a buffer so you kind of know what you can and can't do. So definitely make sure you give yourself a little more money than you think you might need, because 9 chances out of 10 doesn't always work like that. Another tip I have, if you're interested, is saving on food. So maybe you do want to eat in the parks, but snacking might be an issue. So definitely bring some granola bars, or maybe even plan to eat breakfast at your hotel so you're not eating out every single meal. Some people like to though, so it really depends on what you're looking to spend, but I would recommend either planning on bringing one meal for the day, or even if you're just bringing snacks, a little something to save a little extra money so maybe you can spend it on souvenirs. My next tip money-wise is actually that if you have a car, depending on if you're flying or driving, which right now with crazy flights and prices skyrocketing, honestly, you'd really have to see what works better for your family and where you're coming from, whether flying or driving is a better option. But if you do have a car while you're down here, whether it's a rental or you brought your own car, I highly recommend going to either the Orlando Premium Outlets or the Vineland Premium Outlets, because they actually have a store called Character Warehouse, and Character Warehouse is a discounted store where you can actually purchase Disney merchandise at a discounted rate. So for example, there could be a shirt you see in the park that's $30, and you could find a very similar one there for like $13. So definitely if you have a car, I would check it out. It does get very crowded on the weekends though. Sometimes they actually have a standby line, like a queue that you have to get in, a virtual queue. But I definitely recommend checking that out if you are able to. Now for the tips for the actual park. So definitely know how many days you're going, how many days you want to go to a park. Are you doing just Disney? Are you doing Universal, SeaWorld? What else are you kind of wanting to get done while you're here? As far as Disney planning, right now with COVID, it's really different. You need reservations. Things just get booked up a lot quicker than they used to. So I highly recommend when your time comes to make those reservations that you do make those reservations, as well as dining reservations and all of that good stuff. Hotels have been getting pretty booked, so I recommend looking at those as far out as you can. But as far as park days, do you want to spend every single day of your vacation at a park? For a lot of people, it's a lot to have a 7-day trip and go to a park every day. So maybe planning in a rest day and resort hopping, which is completely free. You can definitely go resort hop. You just pull up if you're in a car, tell them you're just there to look around, to shop, to eat, whatever, and they will let you in. They just need to see an ID and that is it. Or, you know, even if you're just staying on property, you can hop on a bus, a monorail, and just go visit the resorts. It's definitely a lot of fun. Just know that a lot of the deluxe resorts, you cannot use their pool unless you are staying at that exact resort. You do have to scan in at the gate. But taking a pool day at your own resort, if you're staying off property, even if they have a pool, staying at their pool, kind of taking a rest day, because it can become a lot, especially if you're doing parks for all of the days you're there. My next tip is to plan your day, but be flexible. I have literally seen so many people with Excel spreadsheets of minute by minute, hour by hour, what they're doing, and it's just unrealistic. I know the commercials make it seem like Disney is this empty place where you can run around and it's nice and cool and there's nothing to worry about. That is not even close to the truth. And anyone who's been to Disney can definitely testify to that. It's crowded, it's hot. Sometimes it just gets miserable, honestly. So just understanding that everything might not work the way you want it to. You might have a plan to go eat breakfast at Chef Mickey's and get to Magic Kingdom in time for rope drop. And depending on how long the line is for the monorail or how long your food takes, that might not be possible, you know? So understanding that you need to be flexible. You might have plans to ride Splash Mountain at 2 o'clock, but here comes the parade at 3 and you want to get a good spot. That's fine too. So planning to an extent, but understanding sometimes it's more fun just to kind of go with the flow. So my tip would be planning as far as what park you're going to, are you park hopping for the day, and where your dining reservations are. If there are any shows you want to catch, that too, but sometimes I think when you plan like minute by minute every ride for the hour, it just gets to be too much. So that would be my tip for that. Speaking of crowds, that also brings me to the idea that it does get crowded, it does get hot. So planning what time you're going, what time of year. Maybe you want to go during a cooler month. I will say though, honestly, Florida's unpredictable. We have had winter days where it is like 90 degrees. We've also had winter days when it gets down to 40. So it's really unpredictable. The weather is always unpredictable, but trying to gauge if there are any special events. For example, we just had some cheer competitions here a few weeks ago. So knowing what's going on when will help you kind of avoid those crowds, and definitely trying to figure out when there are going to be less crowds can help you definitely plan better, enjoy more vacation time. I will say with the 50th, it has been kind of not accurate. I think this past year and a half has just been crazy between COVID and the 50th and people rescheduling vacations. It right now is kind of hard, but definitely in the future, I think it'll slowly go back to normal where you'll have your down periods. So definitely looking at that. Like I said, weather, if you're interested in cooler months, definitely coming during cooler months. Along with the weather, like I said, Disney weather is really unpredictable. So my tip to you is to always have an umbrella or something, because in the summer, it pretty much is standard that it will like rain or we'll have a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Usually it only lasts about an hour or less, but it does happen. Even now, we're not quite into our summer month, but we still see rain occasionally, even when the weather's not calling for it. So just being prepared for that as well. My last big tip to you is to make a must-do list, and I think this is the number one. Before you go to Disney, definitely do some research. Figure out your must-dos. What are your must-eat snacks, your must-watch shows, your must-ride rides? You know, what are the things that you do not want to leave Disney World without doing? Maybe there's a piece of merchandise that you really want to make sure you get your hands on. Definitely making that list so you know no matter what, you're going to get these done. And I would add those to your planning list. So like I said, if you're planning, we're going to go to Animal Kingdom this day, we're going to eat at Yak and Yeti, we're going to watch Festival of the Lion King, and I definitely want to ride Expedition Everest. That would be my tip to you, is to fill all of that out and know exactly what you have to do each day. With the merchandise, if you see something you want to buy, I know a lot of people are kind of in this head space of, we'll wait, we'll see if we find anything else, we'll come back to it. Disney is the one place I would not recommend doing that. I've seen it happen too many times. It's happened to me. You see something you like, you say you'll come back, and then it is never to be seen again. Unfortunately, it does happen. So I recommend if you do see something you like and you do know that you want it, definitely go for it. Obviously, if you're on the fence, you're not really sure, then maybe wait. But if it's something you don't think you can live without, definitely get it while you still have it. Okay, now for the second part of the video, the what is in my park bag. I've got to be honest, it changes. I never carry the same stuff with me always. So one thing I will say is to kind of know how much you need for the day. If you're planning on being in the parks all day, you might want a backpack. If you're like me and you live here and you're only going for the evening, I usually just bring a small crossbody or a belt bag. But in the summer months when I need an umbrella, I actually bring this mini backpack with me. It's from Vera Bradley. It is water resistant, which is even better, which is my next tip. If you do have any sort of bag that is water resistant, I highly recommend. Not only because of water rides like Frozen, Splash Mountain, all of that good stuff, but like I said, it does rain a lot. So to have something that's water resistant, you just kind of don't have to worry about it, which is even better. So like I said, it does rain a lot. So I highly recommend always having an umbrella with you just because you never truly know when it's gonna rain. An umbrella is my personal choice. I also sometimes bring my rain jacket with me as well because sometimes it's windy and it's just blowing everywhere and an umbrella just doesn't quite do it, which is why a lot of people also wear ponchos. My tip to you for the ponchos is if you can find one, Amazon, Walmart, wherever, please buy one before you come to Disney because they are so expensive at Disney and you can get one from Walmart for like $5. I don't even know how much they are here now, but they're probably close to $20 if I had to guess. And they're just paper, not paper, they're just the thin plastic. So definitely don't waste your money on that. Go get it elsewhere. So definitely rain gear, which also brings me to extra socks. I always bring extra socks with me because not only water rides, but like I said, sometimes it floods. Florida is the easiest place to flood. Everything is so flat that it floods so easy. So definitely bringing extra socks. That way, even if your sneakers or your shoes do get wet, you at least have dry socks to put on. You can always go grab some paper towels or put your shoes under a hand dryer, but definitely recommend extra socks if you're wearing sneakers. I also bring my handy dandy little water bottle. This fits right inside the pocket. Definitely always good to have water with you, especially during the hot months. It's so easy to get dehydrated, so definitely recommend bringing a water, especially one that is insulated if you do have one that's insulated, because it gets hot, so it's nice to have cool water. If not, a simple water bottle will do, but that's just what I like to bring. I obviously bring all of my cards. I bring a little bit of cash. There is no need for cash. They do accept cash if you're wondering, but you can definitely use your card, no worry about that. So I bring my cards, I bring my cast ID for discounts, I bring my pass holder for discounts. So if you have any sort of discount card, definitely bring that, DVC. Every place is different, especially at Disney Springs. Coming from a third-party store, I know that every third-party store is different, so definitely bring it and always ask, because you never know. A lot of the third parties do have a discount. It's just a little different, so make sure to always ask. I also like to bring all of my medications. So if you have any medications, obviously bring those, but I like to bring just any sort of pain med in case I get a headache or my leg starts to cramp up or I get leg pains. I don't know, I get these weird growing pains, so I always like to have meds, especially for a headache because like I said, it does get hot. So sometimes it's just nice to have that just in case. Always make sure to bring sunglasses because it does get sunny. I like to bring my pins in a little either plastic bag or a change purse for pin trading. So I make sure I always have those. My tip to you for pins is if you want to do pin trading but you don't want to spend a super lot of money, you can actually go and buy those little, they have Tinkerbell in the front. They're different colors, but they're the little mystery packs. They're $8. It's the cheapest pin you're gonna get. I think some of them are even $6. Cheapest pin you're gonna get, and those are the best for traders if you needed some trader pins. I like to bring a hairbrush and hair ties. Usually in the summer, I start off with my hair up, but sometimes, you ride a few roller coasters and your hair is crazy, so you just need to fix it. So I always bring a hairbrush and some hair ties for that. If you need extra sunscreen, definitely make sure you bring that. Like I said, Florida sun is no joke. Literally make sure you have sunscreen because even if it's overcast and you think you're not getting burned, I can promise you, you probably are, especially if you're from an area where you don't see much sun or it is, fall where you're from, I promise you the sun is harsh in all seasons. So definitely make sure you have that. I always have hand sanitizer in my bag. I've noticed as COVID has kind of been winding down, I've seen less and less hand sanitizer stations, or they're just not filled. So that can be a problem. So just bring a little hand sanitizer with you. For all of my girls out there that like to wear shorts and you chafe a lot, I have found that this, it's called Body Glide. You can find it at Sports Authority, Dick's, probably Walmart. Honestly, any sporting good place will have it. It's basically like deodorant, but for your thighs. So you just, or even like if your arms chafe, so you just rub it on and it's basically like deodorant, just keeps you from chafing. So highly recommend this for anyone that needs it. So my last real tip for bags, if you are planning on going to SeaWorld or Universal, I'm not so sure about SeaWorld. I do know Universal has a rule that you cannot take bags on certain rides. So for example, if you're riding like Cat in the Hat or something like that, you can, I love that rhymed. You can bring a larger bag, but a lot of the rides like Hagrid's or like the Hulk, you can't, they're gonna make you put stuff in a locker, like you can't have literally anything. And then there are other rides that you can bring stuff on, but it has to be a belt bag and it has to be a 3-prong belt bag, or fanny pack as you would say. So highly recommend that if you do wanna get on Universal rides and make sure you can wear your bag. Definitely a fanny pack belt bag is the only way they're gonna let you on. If you are traveling Universal with a larger bag, just know that the lockers are free, but unfortunately large backpacks do not fit. They will only fit in the ones you have to pay for. So for example, if I bring a backpack to Universal, this is what I bring. It's a decent sized backpack. It's still on the smaller end. And as long as I don't fill it, it can slide into the lockers, but that is the biggest thing that I can fit into the lockers. So anything larger than that, you're gonna have to buy a larger locker. So just be aware that if you are going to Universal, the bags are going to be a little bit different as far as Disney versus Universal. So yeah, those are the tips and tricks / what is in my bag. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. I could do another video if you guys have more questions about my tips and tricks for Disney or any specific things about planning your Disney vacation. If you have any ASMR video ideas, please put those in the comments as well. I definitely see all of your comments and I plan on getting to them eventually. It's just been chaotic here at Disney with work and everything. So I enjoyed making this sit down video. If you have any other ideas for that, like I said, please let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.